You know, deep beneath the ocean's surface, something huge is happening. A silent fleet is being born. And we're talking about a project so secret, so ambitious, it's about to completely change the game when it comes to naval power. So, what's the deal with this plan? And why now? Okay, let's get into it.
So what is this secret plan exactly? Well, we're talking about a multi-billion-dollar project that's been in the works for years. The whole idea is to create a strategic advantage that can operate completely, and I mean completely, off the radar.
And when I say multi-billion dollar, I'm not kidding. The price tag is staggering. We're looking at an estimated 90,000 crore rupees. A number that big tells you one thing loud and clear. This isn't just about buying some new hardware. This is a project of immense national importance.
Okay, so where is all that cash actually going? Well, that brings us right to the heart of the plan itself, a massive strategic expansion of the country's submarine force. At its core, the goal is to build a brand new fleet of 6 highly advanced submarines. And look, these aren't just some off-the-shelf models. No way. They're being designed from the ground up to be some of the sneakiest, most sophisticated stealth vessels on the entire planet.
Now, a project this huge doesn't just happen overnight. It unfolds in some pretty clear stages. It all kicks off with strategic inception. That's the why behind it all. Then you move to advanced design, which is the how. That's followed by domestic construction, a super important step for self-reliance. And then finally, fleet deployment, getting these incredible assets out into the water where they belong.
But here's the thing. These aren't just any submarines. They've earned a pretty serious nickname, one that gives you a clue about just how powerful they are. People are calling them silent killers.
So, silent killer. Sounds intense, right? But what does that term actually mean in the world of naval strategy? Well, a silent killer is a sub that's built for one main reason: absolute total stealth. The entire goal is to be able to operate, to hunt, and to strike, all while being pretty much a ghost in the water, completely undetectable.
So how in the world do you make a submarine that quiet? Well, it all comes down to a few key pieces of tech. First, you've got extreme stealth technology. Think of a special hull that literally soaks up sonar waves instead of bouncing them back. Then there's advanced acoustic dampening. This is genius. It's basically like putting the engine and all the noisy parts on giant shock absorbers, turning the sub's own sound into a mere whisper. This lets it stay hidden for super long missions, which gives it that decisive first strike potential, the power to attack before the enemy even has a clue it's there.
Okay, so we've got the massive cost, the number of subs, and the mind-blowing technology. Let's zoom out for a second and look at the big picture. What does all of this really add up to?
When you put these 3 pieces together, the strategy really starts to pop. The massive investment, that shows this is a top-tier national priority. The 6 new submarines, that's a huge expansion of assets. And the silent killer technology, well, that's just a quantum leap forward in what the Navy can do. The key thing here is how all 3 of these things feed into each other.
And that's really the ultimate takeaway. The experts looking at this see it as way more than just an upgrade. This quote here says it all. The creation of this silent fleet marks a deep, fundamental shift in the country's entire strategic position on the world stage.
To put it as simply as possible, this isn't just about swapping out old ships for new ones. This incredible investment in 6 silent killer submarines is really about creating a whole new kind of strategic force, one that's built on stealth, endurance, and decisive power. And that leaves us with one final, really crucial question to think about. As this silent fleet gets ready to slip beneath the waves for the first time, what will its real impact be? Is it just a tool to ensure security, or will its very existence, this powerful invisible force, end up reshaping the entire strategic chessboard for everyone in the region for decades to come? That's the real question.